Yo, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel for another video. Today was a pretty decent trading day. Had 3 wins and 1 loss, and it easily could have been 3 wins and no losses, or even 4 wins and no losses. I did miss a trade earlier on in the day, but we'll cover that in the video. So I just wanted to talk about a little bit about how to handle trading whenever you're on a little winning streak or having a really good day. Just know it, because it comes with the territory. There are going to be days you win 3-4 trades, and there's going to be days you might lose 2-3-4 trades. So it just comes with it. On these days, you have to just understand to check your greed and make sure that you're always following your plan. So I just wanted to go over these trades, go over my thought process on a little bit of this, and just how to make sure you're just staying focused on going to the next trade. Capitalize on one trade and just focus on getting to the next trade. So let's just get right into it. These are the trades I had. This one here, it was a loss here that I definitely could have prevented if I had a little more patience. I had this win here just to follow up of this loss, and I took one more trade here as a continuation basically of this move. And I'll talk a little bit about it. I'm going to actually break this down from scratch. So let's get into it. I go to a different broker, because this is just a broker I use as a broker just to mark the actual trades up on. I'm not actually analyzing this broker, so I just go to a fresh broker, analyze everything from scratch. So let's go back to the 15-minute, and you guys can ignore the previous markups. So these are from previous backtesting videos. So back over here for price, and I was looking at price had a huge, basically all this accumulation, and it had a huge manipulation up here for some buy side, the sweep of liquidity, and it pushed down hugely for most of sell side liquidity, but it left a lot of imbalance and a lot of gaps for it to be filled. So I was looking at mostly for price to come back and fill this imbalance here. And I was looking at this because I was really started thinking about yesterday. I think I should probably start back incorporating some older concepts that I used to trade with, like supply and demand, and doing more liquidity and order blocks, things like that. So I'm thinking about getting back into that as well, and just combining with how I trade now. So just looking at it, I did kind of use these topics and logic today. So looking at it, I was looking at a price to return up to this area, and it did sometime during London session. And then I was looking at it, and I'll do the replay bar so you can see like live what I was looking at. I was looking at it here, it formed like some equal highs up here. So I already knew before, when I woke up this morning around 7ish, I already knew that it was gonna possibly be some equal highs up here and some liquidity up here for the price to sweep. But I was mostly looking at it because price has been in an uptrend for the past few days. You can see it's just been steadily pushing up towards this area. And I was looking at a potential buy here, because I'm seeing is there's some accumulation here, and you see this manipulation, then a push up, and it distributes. And you see it leaves some imbalance here with some liquidity that it can be easily swept right here. There's easily trend line liquidity right here, and just a lot of swing lows being left. I was looking at this imbalance here to be filled this morning, and it still was valid, even though it pushed down a little past it. It still filled that imbalance, and but it's maintaining this low here. So I woke up this morning, I was already looking potentially for a buy, but I just kind of missed because it happened like right after I woke up, and I think I just got a little busy doing spin out. So I went down to the lower time frame, and this is the one trade I missed that I could have had easily 4 or 5 wins today. So I missed this trade here. And I'll try to get through this fast. It's gonna be a little while to break down each trade, so it'll be a slightly longer video. So missed that. Had the accumulation, this manipulation here. And I probably would have set take profit like this, but it really doesn't even matter. It would have hit take profit pretty either way, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, would have hit take profit like that. So that's the trade I missed. But when you miss a trade, you just have to basically just say, okay, it's okay, next trade. Always focus on capitalizing on a trade or focusing on getting to the next trade. So I knew there would be another opportunity here. So I was looking at, okay, what's the next trade? I missed the trade, what's the next trade? And I went through and I saw that, okay, price probably was going to push up when this trade happened. I saw price probably going to push up and fill in this imbalance here. And maybe it can give me some type of quick reaction to where I can short it really quick and catch a quick sell. Because I'm seeing, I know price, I would like prices push up here eventually and sweep this liquidity, push back up higher in this supply zone basically, and you're seeing it and feel more of this imbalance, and you're seeing a lot of liquidity up here just resting with these swing highs here. So I'm thinking a price will push up there eventually, but maybe now while it's breaking or sweeping these lows and feeling this imbalance, it might push down a little bit and give us a quick reaction. So this is a little more risky trade, but it's still pretty valid. It did happen a little outside of the macros that I normally trade, so I was just looking for a quick reaction or just testing this out. So this would have hit take profit, and I did miss this trade. So I was just looking for a quick reaction. I see that price is reacting to this imbalance with all this accumulation here. Then I see right here, it looks a little ugly on this broker. It looks a little cleaner on the one I actually trade on, or analyze on, I should say, and trade on. And I end up taking this move here. It's a really quick move. It can be hard to spot this when you see all this accumulation and consolidation right there. But yeah, I see this accumulation here with these few candles, and it sweeps up above these, and then it distributes and leaves this imbalance. So I entered there. It was a really small range. I think on mine, actual broker was like 6 points instead of like 5.7, but it's still a small range trade, really quick trade. Went down to, yeah, right around there. And of course, when I saw this happen, I thought, okay, it's going to hopefully go straight to take profit, but it did, and it went really close, and then it went back to my entry. And of course, you just got to have a little bit of patience. I mean, not too much, because it's literally just the 1 minute. This trade happened in like 12 or 10 minutes, something like that. So yeah, like 12 minutes. So just have to hold the trades, trust your analysis. Well, it gets a little nerve-wracking when it comes back to entry, but just trust your analysis and hold it. And then, yeah, that was the first win of the day after I missed this one. And at this point, I'm thinking I'm pretty good. I mean, you win at one trade for the day, you're up for the day, it's good. I'm pretty good and satisfied. I can move on to the next day, but I was just following my plan. I understood that with my analysis. I was really looking for the big move here, for price to push up and sweep this liquidity here, and then give us a big push down, which actually did happen. So I was kind of really just waiting for this. This was just a little extra to play with and just get back into the momentum of doing like supply and demand, things like that, and those concepts. So then we move on to the next trade, and I'm just being patient and trying to wait for it. But we get to this area, and at this point, I'm thinking, okay, it's back in the supply zone basically, but it hasn't switched liquidity that I wanted it to, but it gave me a valid entry here. And I ended up taking it. And this is easily where I could have had some more patience, especially since I was up for the day already with winning the first trade and what could have been 2 trades. I could have just had a little more patience, say I'm going to wait for my ideal setup, because this one did look like it was a valid setup, but I'm still waiting for the liquidity to be swept. And I ended up taking this trade and ended up being a loser. As we'll see, it did go slightly in the profit, then went and hit stop loss. And I ended up being part of the liquidity that price was swept, because, you know, it's just forming another swing high, a quick swing high here for price to just run on and sweep and collect money. And you see it's a loss here. And go back to the 15-minute time frame. You'll see it's literally just more liquidity to be swept, and it sweeps it. And now I'm thinking, okay, now's the time for me to really look for the sell. So this wasn't revenge trading. This is what my original analysis, what I really was looking for to happen. This is what I was really looking for. And this is just me following my plan. I think, okay, I'm won one trade, I lost one trade for the day, but this is the part of the plan. I've risked properly, and yeah, it was one. I'm still up for the day. I won one trade, lost one. The win outweighs the loss. So I get to this next trade, and I have entry like immediately after it sweeps liquidity here. See this little accumulation, and then you see a little manipulation with sweeping this swing high, and then you see this distribution, this imbalance, and I entered here, and it went straight to take profit pretty much within like 2 minutes, and it just dumped down, and you see that this was a winning trade. And what I was doing today, I did trade a little different today, just because I'm going back on a little bit of like the supply demand concepts and just those different things. So I was looking at holding a runner for the first time today, which I haven't done in probably months. So I held a runner here, but I have to, get back into it and test it out a little more and get back used to doing that type of thing. Because I held a runner, but I also moved it to break even, the stop loss to break even, just to cover it off. Because I am seeing that still price is in an overall uptrend, and I know that even though I'm looking for it to dump down and give me a really big sell push, I know it's in an uptrend. It could just, it's already filled this imbalance, it's swept everything. It could just push down just a little bit and then push back up and not hit my full take profit. So I was looking for a price to push down further, at least this swing low here as a take profit. That was what I had as my take profit, my second take profit for my runner position. Let's see, make that a take profit. And that's why I was looking for prices to push down and at least get here. I wanted it ultimately, I think, to go down here in this area to feel more imbalance that was already left and not mitigated. So we'll see. It didn't get there yet. But yeah, I was looking for that, and I put it down. My stop loss to break even for this trade, and it went back up, wicked me out, and literally dropped again. So I think my lesson here is that whenever I just if I ever do a runner again, which I probably will, probably next few trades, to just leave it at regular stop loss and just let it run, because I've already taken off most of the position there and taken off like those partials, so I've already secured a lot of profit there, and it's not going to affect me if this trade hits stop loss or does whatever it's going to do. So I could have just held this and let it go down to at least here for the full take profit, but we'll see. I'll have to change how I do it in the future. It was my first time doing it in a while, but still the bias was correct. And after that, I could have been done for the day. I had 2 wins at that point and 1 loss, so it's a decent day. But I was pretty confident that price would come back down to this area with this runner, even though it obviously doesn't have to, because the price still isn't an uptrend, and price doesn't have to do whatever you want to do. I was just trying to follow my rules and just trying to take clean setups, and I was just really in a flow here. This could have been more of a greedy trade. You want to make sure you're checking your greed, but I was really just in the flow here, and I just kind of felt like, okay, this is just a right trade to take, because it's with the analysis and the way everything's looking right now, it's just the right trade to take. So I ended up taking this sell here as well, even though it's slightly probably outside of my rules here because it's not in the macro, but I was going based on supply and demand concepts and tweaking how I traded a little bit today. So this was more of a field position that I did risk a little less on, just because it doesn't meet all my trade rules ideally, and because I'd already taken 3 trades today, but I've already up for the day. I don't want to put too much at risk here, because I really just didn't want to be greedy. Make sure you check your greed and not taking too many trades per day, or just not falling in love and being greedy with profit, and that's how you diminish your profits easily. So I just set my take profit there, and I did try to leave a runner for this one. I tried to compensate for this one, and it didn't go through, not for this one at least. But the trade originally went through, and I took partials, so that's still profit that I was able to secure. But the runner just it did run down some, but it didn't hit. It ended up wicking this out. And I say all that to say is because I should have just left this runner here, because even though it comes back up to pretty much break even an entry again, it does push down again and actually hit this take profit that I was holding to. So that's just kind of with that. I'll probably make another video talking about the psychology of taking partials and runners. Probably maybe my next video, or just my next, whenever I do that in a trade again. It just kind of depends on whenever I test it out a little more and get more comfortable doing it again, because I haven't done it in a while. But it's a useful thing, because I got to secure a lot of profit here on regular take profit around this area. But then you see this is all this extra profit and extra percentage I could have held, and that helps really just build your account, especially with those buffers for extra losses. Like those little extra runners could have made up for this whole loss right here, even though you're only holding a really small percentage of your trade. That extra capital and equity, it really does help. So those were the trades I for today. I did miss this one earlier. It was a little outside of the time frames I trade normally, but I did trade different today, just based on different supply and demand concepts. But you'll have those days where you'll miss a trade, but you still have those other days when you win 3, 4, or 5 trades, maybe depending on how often you trade or how much you trade. And then you have those days where you might lose 3 or 4 trades. It just comes with it. You just want to make sure in the days that you are winning like this, you're securing your profit, your capital, you're preserving your capital. You're not being greedy. You're checking your greed, and you're making sure that the trade you're taking follows a plan. You're not just doing everything on feeling, or you're just trying to get more and more and more. Just making sure you're taking valid setups that follows your plan. So with that, you guys can like and subscribe and check out some more content. I'll probably be dropping some more videos on the topics or the psychology of leaving runners and taking partials and securing some profit in your trades, just because I haven't done it in a while. I'll probably drop some more videos on those soon. And yeah, I'll see you guys next video.